Great God is what we're going to play. Doc, you're back? You were frozen for a
I'm
while
back.
there. Okay, good.
I'm
All
back.
right.
All right, let's see if this works, okay? I changed the
Yes.
internet source, so let's see.
Uh-huh. Okay. Awesome. So you're live.
Right. Okay, all right, wonderful, wonderful. So you want me to get started?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, super, super. So great to be with you this morning. I don't see any sticking of the stream. It's flowing. This is great. So last week we spoke about viruses. We had updates on COVID. We spoke about viruses and how to manage at home. Because a lot of times we can do things at home to really help us fight these bugs and these flus and get better faster. And it didn't come through so great. So I'm doing it a little bit of the same thing this week with some extras so that we can review what we said. So, Pastor, if you don't mind putting up that first slide for me, I would love to just show some COVID updates to start because since last week, there's some things that I can share with you about COVID and how to manage at home and fight this virus.
Well, unfortunately, your slides are not available. The way they came, I couldn't do anything with them. I needed to be able to
Oh,
download, but they'll only allow me to share. So, unfortunately,
oh, okay, all right, no problem. So I
I'll
will
work
just
on
look
it.
at them.
Might be able to work a little magic, but we'll see.
All right, I'll look at it from my phone here and let you know the updates. So, all right, let me find that real fast. All right, so when we spoke last time, we said, here it is, beautiful. I wanted to remind you guys about a few COVID updates. So, one thing is for those who may not know, you are able to get free test kits from the government if you apply online. And this came out last week, actually last week, Tuesday. And so if you haven't applied yet for your free COVID home test kits, do it now. Okay, the website is covidtest.gov. That's covidtest.gov, covidtest.gov. Okay, and it will be delivered straight from UPS, and it will come straight to your home. Every home is eligible for one package, which has 4 free test kits in there. Okay, so please go ahead and do that. All right. So the next thing I wanted to tell you guys is that if you haven't heard yet, you can also get free N95 masks at your local pharmacies. And many of the Midwestern states have already gotten their masks, and folks are getting up to 3 to 4 masks at their pharmacies for free. And they should be in Connecticut very soon, if not this week. And the participating pharmacies are Walgreens, CVS, and some other locations. So you want to just take advantage of those things when you can. All right. And then the treatments for COVID-19, outpatient treatment, that is, outpatient. So last week, I reminded you of the monoclonal antibodies that were available for early COVID treatment. And guess what? Since Monday, that is no longer available. The FDA has removed authorization for these monoclonal antibody treatments because they have not shown to be as effective for this new variant Omicron. So that's no longer an option, but there are still the oral pills, one by Pfizer and one by Merck. The one by Pfizer is the one that's been shown to be more effective, and it's a prescription that you get from your doctor if you are COVID-19 positive, and it's not prophylaxis, it's for infection. And within the first 5 days, not when you're at day 10 or day 12, okay, the first 5 days to get that treatment. And it's been shown to be about 95 or 90% effective to prevent hospitalization and death. All right. So just to remind you of those things. But, we have those available, and that's great. But we also want to know what we can do at home to to get better faster and just avoid having to be hospitalized and avoid ending up with long COVID, or where you have all these symptoms of fatigue and brain fog and all kinds of bizarre things after COVID is done. If you hit it early, you decrease the chance of those complications. All right, so I'm going to just go over briefly the immune system, because when we understand how the immune system works, it helps us know what we can do at home to enhance the immune system. Because when it comes to fighting COVID-19 and any other virus, flu, or bug, it's all about how will your immune system fight. That's what you have to fight these viruses, your immune system. And what is that? Well, your immune system is made up of many different parts. One thing you may not realize is your skin is a part of your defense, of your defenses from bugs and viruses. Your mucous membranes inside your nose, back of your throat, those areas are built with special protection to fight viruses and bugs. Those are important. Then you have your lymph system, right? Which is where your white cells can really help to destroy those bugs and capture invaders. You have your bone marrow, which makes your cells that turn into fighter cells later on. And you have different things like your thymus and your spleen, which are a part of the fighting militia, or the fighting body. These guys all work together to destroy foreign invaders. And in this case, bugs, viruses, flus, and even other things like cancers. Your immune system helps to fight those foreign guys. So we have to hone in on the guys on the front line in the bloodstream. Those are your white cells, right? Everybody has white cells and red cells. Your red cells are responsible for carrying oxygen throughout your body to every single organ, every single tissue. They all need oxygen. Your white cells are responsible for just kind of patrolling the area, right? They're your neighborhood watch guys. They make sure that nothing goes out of place, out of control. If there's an invader, they prepare to fight. Now, you have two different levels of your immune system when it comes to your white cells. You have your innate immune system. That's the kind that those are the cells that, let's say, they act quickly, they act first, they act on instinct. That's your innate. Then you have your adaptive immune system, the adaptive part, where they need to prepare, they need to be well trained before they just jump out there and fight. So let's break it down some more. So just so you understand, there are two groups of fighters, right? The innate, or the ones that you are born with, or the ones that kind of just act on instinct, they act fast. Then you have your adaptive, the ones that need to kind of see the invader, get used to them, and make a plan, a strategy. So when it comes to fighting bugs and flus, you want to have your early guys ready for action, because when the virus comes in through your eyes, through your mouth, through your nose, you don't have 10 days for your adaptive system to fight the bad guys, right? You want the quick guys, the innate immune system, to attack and destroy. Those are certain types of cells with special names that you don't, it's not really important for you, but in case you're interested, those would be like your there you go. Go back up one slide, Pastor, and we can see the innate immune system. Thank you for working your magic. You're the best. So the innate immunity, that acts quickly. These cells are your basophils, your eosinophils, your natural killer cells, your neutrophils. They produce ammunition to just go out and destroy. They just shoot out, proteins, cytokines, interferons, and those help to destroy a virus and help you to get better. Now, when you mount certain responses in your body, like a fever, when your body gets really hot with a fever, this gives signals to these cells that there is a problem. You got to fight. You got to keep, the war going. That's why you have a fever. So you can help to fight bugs, fight infections, give signals to these guys, increase production of interferon and other um, chemicals and proteins and compounds that help to fight. So when you've gotten over the initial phase of the fighting of the infection, then if you should get exposed to it later on, it's your adaptive immune system that will say, we know this culprit. We got him. We have specialized equipment to destroy him. And those are your antibodies. So let's say if you get COVID once, your innate immune system is what's supposed to fight it right away. If you get COVID 6 months down the line, or let's say 3 or 4 months down the line, it's your adaptive immune system that will say, I've seen this virus before, we to do, and special antibodies go out and destroy. So you handle it better the second, the third, and the fourth time. All right. So let's move on, and we'll see here why knowing this basic immunology is important for you at home when you're preparing to fight a flu, a virus, a bug. So at home, we can do certain things like using hydrotherapy. Using hydrotherapy to alter and to stimulate our immune system. When we use water inside and out, it gives messages to or cells that it's time for them to get into high gear and fight a bug. So water is a very key element in fighting infections, and water in the form of hydrotherapy is crucial for us to understand. Now, when we take water at a certain temperature and have a high, like warm or hot water, and take it inside or apply it outside, that is increasing the overall temperature within our blood and almost kind of inducing a fever response. So your body thinks you have a fever and it's saying, okay, it is time to fight. And it starts to get the white cells more activated, and they start to produce the chemicals and the compounds they need to fight viruses. So many of you have not heard of hydrotherapy inside. Well, hydrotherapy inside is just getting a lot of liquid in, warm water in, so that we can help the immune system do well. Now, what does warm water drinking do for us? Well, one thing is it helps the blood to flow more easily, more smoothly, so the white cells can get to where they need to be. Also, it helps the lymph to flow better. And your lymph fluid is vital and crucial when it comes to nabbing viruses, like almost keeping them contained in a jail cell. The lymph needs to flow well because that's where the mess goes and it gets cleaned out. Also, when you drink water internally, it helps you stimulate a bowel motion, and that helps to clean the colon. A backed up colon is not good when you are sick. So if we go back to the slide with the little girl drinking water there, we see that it's important to take a lot of fluids in when we are sick. And that's one of the top recommendations now of the CDC. They're saying, get your vaccine, get your boosters, wash your hands, wear your mask, drink lots of liquids because it's important. Lots of clear liquid is the best, okay? So warm water is hydrotherapy inside, and it helps to do all these wonderful things that we just outlined. So after you've done with the warm water, like you're doing that, what else can you do in terms of hydrotherapy at home? Well, a simple thing you can do is hot and cold contrast showers. I know Pastor is an expert at this, and I am just a baby in this department, but we all need to start somewhere, practice, and make contrast showers a part of our daily routine, especially when you're coming down with something. Now, what are contrast showers? A contrast shower is just alternating between hot water and cold water when you're in the shower. And you want to do it in a cycle with a longer phase of hot and a shorter phase of cold. Thank God, because that cold is not fun. So the hot water cycle, so you're in the shower, you turn it on to as hot as you can tolerate for about 3 minutes. And you just stay there and you let your body just get hot and your core temperature rise. And after 3 minutes, you turn the water to as cold as you can bear. And when you turn it to a cold temperature, you are just really sending a stimulation to your immune system, and you're having vasoconstriction. And then when you turn it back to hot, you dilate. So you're kind of like pushing the blood faster throughout your body when you do hot and cold. It increases blood circulation. The hot stimulates the white cells to work, to get in gear, and the cold kind of like helps with the vasodilation and constriction to help the blood move faster throughout. So you do 3 minutes of hot, 30 seconds of cold. Do that for 3 cycles. They say end with cold, so that your skin pores can be nice and closed, kind of keep that heat inside, and then you rub off with your towel and get nice and warm with some nice warm clothes. Contrast showers are ideal for keeping the immune system functioning better, and those should be done during sickness and in health. And it's a good thing for us to teach our kids too how to do contrast showers, because it's a good habit to create. All right, so we're drinking water, warm water ideally. We are taking contrast showers when we're sick. What else can we do to fight a bug with hydrotherapy? Well, we can do hot baths. A hot bath is very effective to help to stimulate white cells and help the immune system. And with the hot bath, what you do is you just fill up your tub with hot water. And when it's nice and full, you can add whatever you want. Some people add Epsom salt with the magnesium there. Some people add aromatherapy like peppermint or eucalyptus. You don't have to add anything if you don't want to. Just make sure the water is hot. And as long as it's not going to burn you, you test it first. Then you get in to that hot or warm bath and lay there. And you stay there for a good 10 to 15 minutes. And then when you come out, you just wash up with some cold water real fast and wipe off, and then go and lay in the bed under the covers for half an hour. This is very good to help those white cells get in gear and to fight the virus, okay? We need a plan of action whenever we come down with flus, bugs, and cold. We don't want to just do nothing and just kind of wait it out, because it just takes too long to get better. We need a plan, and this is a part of the plan. Hydrotherapy as soon as you get sick. So you're drinking warm water, you're taking contrast showers, you're doing the hot bath. Just once a day for the hot bath is fine. And something else you can do is steam inhalation. Now, we spoke about that last week, and I know that Opal loves to do steam inhalation, which is really good to fight the infection. And you can go on, I think it's the next slide, yes, to fight the infection before it gets into high gear and when it's in high gear. Meaning, you've been out amongst people and you're kind of worried that you may have, gotten some exposure to some kind of bug or flu. Do steam inhalation, because they like to come in through these areas. Now, how do you do steam? And the heat is really good to slow them down at the site of entry. So this lady here, she has her kettle on, her electric stove there, and she's inhaling the steam with a towel over her head. You can put that hot water anywhere. You can heat up the water, and I put it in a bucket or a basin, Then I love to add oils. I love to add eucalyptus oil to help with coughing. I like to add peppermint oil to open up the sinuses. And I like to add oregano oil to fight viruses. I know that Opal Pastor, you said, likes to add orange peels. Those are good too. The in the peel of oranges, lemons, and lime is a lot of the medicine. So adding orange peels, lemon peels, lime peels is perfectly fine inside the hot water. Now, when the steam has to be rising, so be very careful when you get close. You have the steam rising, you get a nice big towel or blanket, put it over your head so you can contain the steam so it comes all the way up. You're kind of like gathering the steam so it doesn't go all over the room. You want it to come up into your face. And you breathe in through your nose or your mouth, and then you breathe out and you stay there for about 5 to 7 minutes. And that is really good to open up your sinuses, relieve congestion in the upper respiratory area, in the bronchial area, and help with killing bugs and viruses as they are lodging in your upper respiratory region, your nose and your mouth. So this is a good one to employ at home. It's good to do with anybody, parents, kids, anybody can do this one. Just be careful with the heat and not to burn yourself, okay? You can also do hot foot bath. Just get a basin with hot water, put your feet in there, sit there with, cover your body so you're not chilled. And that increases your core body temperature. It causes vasodilation and it helps the blood to flow throughout your body. These are simple ways to stimulate blood flow, help white cells, and fight bugs. And we can't underestimate them because they've been proven to work. Back in the 1918, when we had the Spanish flu, these were key elements that helped sanitariums treat patients. Studies show that these things work even now with folks who are fighting COVID-19. It helps to decrease the severity and the duration of infection. The key is to do it early, right away. So you need to know what to do when the infection comes into your home. You can also do chest hydrotherapy. Let's say somebody is having a lot of congestion. You feel a lot of coughing or congestion in your chest. It's good to apply warm towels directly on your chest and on your back. So you would just get a nice big towel, put it in really hot water, wring it out, fold it up, put a towel on top and a towel behind, and then place those warm towels on top of the dry one. You don't want to burn the skin with hydrotherapy. That's why you put a towel first, then put the really hot towel. Or if you have a microwave, you can put a damp cloth or towel in the microwave, get it nice and warm, and then remember to put that dry towel on top first. You don't want to burn anybody. Then put the hot towel on, cover up under the blankets in your bed, and just lay there. And that heat brings a massive surge of blood to the area with more white cells, interferons, cytokines, guys, to sop up all that gunk, help clear out the lungs. You can do many of these, in unison, meaning you can do more than one treatment to fight the same disease and get a very good effect. All right, so caution I want to point out is be careful with age. When you're working on very young children or very elderly, you want to be careful about the temperature because they cannot tolerate extremes in temperatures. So make sure you check it that it's not too hot or too cold for these groups of individuals so that they can tolerate the treatment. Also, you want to be careful about diabetes because with diabetes, oftentimes folks have damage to their tips of their fingers, to their feet. They don't feel as well. So the water may feel kind of okay to you, but if don't have good sensation, then you could burn yourself. So you may want to have somebody else feel it if you know you have damage to your extremities with diabetes or what they call neuropathy. And also be careful if you have a heart condition. If you have palpitations, arrhythmias, AFib, any of those conditions where your heart doesn't beat normally, be careful with with being too extreme or making the temperatures too extreme, because you may really increase the blood flow to the point where you have an issue with your heart not being able to tolerate it. All right, so those are the cautions. But apart from that, hydrotherapy is so safe, so effective, and so, I don't want to say easy, but easy only when you get the hang of it. And that's why we need to practice. We need to prepare and we need to practice now. Not when we're sick. Don't wait till you're sick to say, oh, how does that thing work again? No. While you're feeling well, try it out. Practice on yourself. Make sure you have the buckets at home or the basins. Make sure that you have the towels at home. Be familiar with how to do a contrast shower when you're well. In the shower tonight, just practice putting on as hot as you can bear for 3 minutes, then as you can bear for 30 seconds, and keep doing that. And so when you're sick, these things you can do almost automatically, and they will help you get better faster. Okay, so this is an excellent tool to have. And when we come back next week, we're going to talk about other things you can do at home to fight flus, bugs, viruses like COVID-19. So, what do we did today? Next week, we'll do food. What should you be eating when you have a virus, cold, or a flu? All right, because we want to be better as soon as possible and be in the best health to get back to the work that God would have us to do.
So one person is asking Dr. Kathy if there are home remedies that can help their thyroid issues. And somebody else said your
Yeah.
skin looks amazing, by the way. It must be that good diet.
Thank you. That's so kind. Thank you so much. So, thyroid. So, you have hyper and you have hypothyroid conditions. And when it comes to managing these, it would depend on if you have overactive or underactive thyroid. Of course, you certainly want to be working in conjunction with your provider, because your thyroid is a very important gland with a very important role, and you want to know what the levels are by blood test, and the doctors can order these and check for you and give you a gauge as to how you're doing. In terms of folks who need more iodine, if they're underactive, you can get iodine in different foods, sea plants, kelp, seaweed. They say that if you have an issue with overactive thyroid, that you may want to be careful with certain foods, like cabbage or potatoes. But it would depend on the type that you have. And of course, you want to always implement the laws of health first. Those are very important. The laws of health, which we've discussed and we will continue to discuss, as well as knowing your levels. And then based on that, you can know if you need to get more iodine or less. But that's how I would proceed.
Thank you very much, Dr. Kathy. Appreciate your presence here today. We're going to say a word of prayer and close out, and I'll see you next Wednesday.
Yes, wonderful.
Awesome. Father, thank you for the time we shared together. Thank you for Dr. Kathy and for all our online guests. Continue to bless and keep us all. Go with us now and keep us faithful, we pray in Jesus' name. Amen. Amen. Thank you, Doc.
Amen.
Appreciate you very much. So, our folks, want to remind you, of course, that tonight is prayer meeting night. So come on back right here at 7 p.m. We've got something special in store for you as we continue our look at the book of Job and